Good morning from the National Weather Service office in Lake Charles. I'm meteorologist Donald Jones, and this is your weather briefing for Friday, August 26th on a still very disorganized Invest 99L. 99L is actually so disorganized that the National Hurricane Center canceled the Hurricane Hunter aircraft that was scheduled to fly into the storm this morning because there's very little chance that they'd be able to find a closed circulation. Let's take a look at the visible satellite imagery this morning, and you see just what I'm talking about. There's actually not very much in the way of significant activity with 99L this morning. Just a few showers and thunderstorms along what I guess we would consider the southern edge of the storm. But for the most part, there's really not much to the system. One could perhaps make an argument that there's a bit of a low-level swirl right in this area here off the northern coast of Cuba, but there's nothing to give it any indication that that has reached the surface. 99L remains in a fairly unfavorable environment for any additional development today or tomorrow for that matter. It continues to be located over an area of relatively high shear, as denoted by the lines in yellow here. And although it will be moving into a more favorable environment beyond the next couple of days, at least over the short term, we do not anticipate any additional strengthening. And the National Hurricane Center's tropical weather outlook illustrates this. The Hurricane Center is only giving the system about a 20% chance of actually becoming a named system any time over the course of the next 2 days. Also on this graphic are Tropical Storm Gaston, which poses no threat to any landmass, but could become a hurricane again over the next couple of days, and then a very weak area of low pressure over the northern Gulf Coast, and that's actually bringing us some showers and thunderstorms today. We'll take a look at the radar here in just a second. But there is a very, very small chance that perhaps a tropical depression could develop out of that system. But even that is very unlikely as it's very close to shore. It's just going to be a rainmaker for us for the next day or two. Now this graphic is the tropical weather outlook through the next 5 days, through Wednesday. And as you can see, the chance of development of 99L increases fairly significantly up to about a 60% chance of development as we go out through 5 days. Now this chance of development is actually a bit lower than what the Hurricane Center had been forecasting for the last couple of days. Yesterday there was a 70% chance of development, and the day before that an 80% chance of development. So the chance of development has actually been decreasing somewhat over the last few days. Nonetheless, there's still a higher than average chance of development once the storm gets through the Caribbean Sea and into the southern Gulf of Mexico, and there's still a good bit of divergence from computer models as far as where the storm will actually go, and that's highly dependent on not only where the center of circulation forms, but also how strong the storm gets as it moves through the Gulf of Mexico. The good news is we still have a few more days to keep an eye on this storm, so there's no immediate threat to any northern Gulf Coast areas. Taking a look back across our area this morning, as I mentioned a moment ago, we are expecting some shower and thunderstorm development in association with that low pressure area over the northern Gulf, and it's actually already begun to form this morning. Parts of southeast Texas and coastal Louisiana have already seen some showers and thunderstorms, and we expect this to continue, especially across the western half of the area, across southeast Texas and the bordering parishes, through the afternoon and into the evening. And finally, taking a look at your extended forecast, we do have fairly good rain chances through the weekend, unfortunately, which could potentially put a damper on some of your outdoor activities. But right now, rain chances actually decrease as we go into the work week next week, although that'll be highly dependent on the eventual evolution of 99L, so make sure to keep an eye on that. So to summarize, 99L remains a highly disorganized system with no center of circulation, and little change in intensity is expected today, or really tomorrow for that matter. As I mentioned, Hurricane Hunter aircraft will not investigate the system today, but could potentially go back out tomorrow if it looks like the storm is getting better organized. Be sure to stay up to date on this situation as it could change fairly quickly, and continue to be careful about where you get your weather information. We'll continue to provide these briefings as long as there is a threat, and our next briefing will be later on this afternoon. Have a great Friday, and we'll talk to you in a bit.